Friday of the Jordy Culotta Show, Friday's edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, getting off and rolling. We're coming off the top rope as it is news-centric to start off, as Russell Wilson yesterday was in the news. I don't know if he's demanding a trade or not out of Seattle. Either way, he told Seattle brass that he would play for 4 teams, and one of them included the New Orleans Saints. Anytime we talk NFL, we love to link up with our guy, Booger McFarland, who's one of the faces of college football and ESPN and NFL up there. He is getting to a tea time, and we've got 10 minutes with our guy. Has anybody ever told you look just like Booger McFarland? Good morning. How are you?
What's up, Jordy? How we doing, buddy?
Doing good. When you heard the Russell Wilson stuff, is he demanding out of Seattle or not from your point of view?
No, he's not. But I think, at the end of the day, what you're starting to see in the NFL is the players are starting to realize that if you're a true star, then you have a say-so. You can demand certain things, certain input. It's not just about money. And so I think Russell is at a point right now where, he's been out there in Seattle, which is a long way away from civilization, it seems like. And you put that with the fact that he's the most hit quarterback in the NFL the last 4 years. You put that with he's got a superstar wife who I'm sure she wants to be in the center of, stuff as far as, New York, L.A., Seattle is not quite entertainment central. So I think you put all that together, and you could see a path where Russell is not in Seattle, if not this year, maybe in the next couple of years.
Do the Saints make sense?
Yeah, but I think if you're the Saints, then, you got to kind of figure out what you're doing, because free agency is coming up, and you got Jameis that you need to figure out what are you going to do. Do you sign Jameis to a 1 year and then just say, okay, we're going to monitor the situation elsewhere? Do you sign Jameis to a 2-year, realizing that I can sign him to a 2-year, and if he plays well, then we really got a starting quarterback at a bargain. If I sign him to a 1 year and he balls out, then really I'm going to have to break the bank the following year. So it just depends on what Mickey Lomas and Sean want to do.
How bad is it in Houston?
It's as bad as you could probably imagine, because, you have to realize we're only seeing a little bit of it. A lot of what's going on is staying behind closed doors. And, Deshaun Watson, even after talking to the new coach, reiterated, I want to go. So it's really bad when J.J. Watt's gone. Deshaun Watson is vowing never to play for the team again. And if you're a fan base, think about this. There was a period of time a few years ago that they had Deshaun Watson, Jadeveon Clowney, Tyrann Mathieu, J.J. Watt, all on the same team.
Wow. And
now all those guys are going to be gone if Watson leaves.
It's unreal, Boog. I mean, how bad does the culture have to be in an NFL locker room where these guys are – Deshaun Watson got a generational contract, and just a year later he's saying, I'm not playing and I want out.
He sent out a tweet that I think reverberates through society, sports, etc. He says, loyalty over everything. Don't ever forget it. Yeah. And that's like so many different avenues about what's going on. I think there's no loyalty from a trust standpoint with the guys inside. And, when your best players don't feel like you're loyal to them, then how can I honestly wake up every morning and give you everything I got? Something that's just hard to do.
There's no way Drew Brees comes back, huh?
You know what? I don't think so. I think when Drew lowered that salary down to the veteran minimum, I think that was the precursor, to the end. Because if you're Drew Brees, you're not playing for vet minimum. Even if let's say Drew comes back, or Drew wants to come back, Drew is not playing for $1 million, okay? Nor are the Saints going to disrespect him and have him play for $1 million. So the fact that he lowered his salary to $1 million tells me he's done. While we're waiting, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know, but I'm not going to give you money back and then come play for free. Like, life just doesn't work that way.
You play golf every day. You're on your way to the course right now. You might be on the range. Tiger, you're a huge fan of Tiger Woods. What'd you make of the news of the accident earlier this week? And then this morning, the news is that he's been transferred to Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles. So it looks like he's improving.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't play every day. I mean, I got a wife and kids. You can't play golf every day with that. That's number one.
4 days a week?
Well, it's probably 2 or 3, most likely. It's just sad, man, because, Tiger is one of the transcendent athletes of my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And, regardless of whether he wins or not, we all like to see him compete. And for him to get in an accident, the first thing I thought about was his children, man.
Yep.
And just seeing, he's got kids now that are at that age where, like, they interact. Like, his son is 12. His daughter, I think, is like 14. So, like, these kids are in the most impressionable years of their life, and they need their dad. And so once I found out that he was going to live, that was the main thing. Bones will heal. Okay, I've broken several bones in my body. Bones will eventually heal. That's just how it goes. It just takes time. So he'll be okay. And once the bones heal, then you can figure out what you want to do from an athletic standpoint going forward. But as long as he's alive, man, I'm just thankful for that. And it's just a reminder to all of us, man, life is precious, man.
Yeah.
Wear your seatbelt. Life is precious. And don't take anything for granted, man.
Yep. Is Tom Brady going to make Tampa Bay the Los Angeles of the South? Is Patrick Peterson and J.J. Watt going to end up being a Buccaneer?
I don't think that neither one of them are. But if you told me one of them was, I'd say J.J. Watt. It just depends on how J.J. Watt wants to finish his career. He's made a ton of money. Does he want to play? Because if he wants 10, 12, 15 million bucks, he's not coming to Tampa. If he wants to win a ring, he'll take, $3 or $4 million. Yeah, he can come to Tampa for $3 or $4 million. And Ndamukong Suh will be back. And now you got a defensive front of J.J. Watt and Ndamukong Suh, Shaq Barrett, JPP. Tom Brady's back. Godwin probably wouldn't be here. They would re-sign Antonio Brown. So the Bucs could honestly, and I told you this, there's a scenario, a very likely scenario where Tampa is better next year than they were this year. And to me, that's the scary part.
Yeah. I mean, and he looks like he's got a couple of years left in the tank. Hit him straight today. Thank you for your time this morning. I know you're busy. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Later, bud.
All right, man. There's Booger McFarland checking in from that's so good. I mean, that could be one of the best live moments that we've had anywhere.
Absolutely has to be.
It was
in any capacity.
Fantastic. All right, it's good to see everybody up and moving this morning. We got quick to Booger McFarland. He's got an 8:30 tee time on the East Coast this morning in Tampa, so he was able to squeeze us in before he got on the range here on a Friday.
You know what his game's like?
Yeah, bro, he smashes it. He's about
there's no doubt he hits it
3 or
far.
4 handicap. I mean, and I think he was kind of playing that down. I think he plays about 4 or 5 times a week. I mean, every time we talk to him, he's on the range.
Golf course, yeah. And if he's playing only 2 or 3 times a day, he's playing 36.
Now, I know his travel schedule in football season is brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. But, he lives in Tampa. You saw the radar last week. I mean, the entire country was freezing, and Florida
75
was sunny.
Okay, there we go.
Sunny and 75. Good morning, everyone. We got the crew here. Katie's here, Mikey's here, Nick's here, Lloyd's here.
I love the quick start. It's awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like getting off the ground there pretty quick. And we are fired up about today's show because we are packed. Less than an hour from now, we're going to talk to Will Wade, head basketball coach of the Tigers, get his mindset and the group's mindset after Georgia earlier this week, and then Arkansas coming up tomorrow. Arkansas is going to be you better be ready to play going into Bud Walton tomorrow because Arkansas is coming off of one of their most dominant wins. First time over a top 25 opponent since 1995. They get the win in Bud Walton in Fayetteville earlier this week. Musselman's got that crew believing. They got him
shirtless right now.
He is he's motivating David Patrick, a couple of former LSU assistants up there with Patrick and Musselman. And tomorrow, second place in the league on the line with LSU and Arkansas. We'll talk to Coach Will Wade coming up here at 8 a.m. this morning. We are shooting for $250 giveaway at Harper's Haberdashery. The way that we are going to do that this morning is that we want to put We want to put Sam's Instagram account on steroids this morning. So we need your Instagram handle. Explain what we want to do here.
Yeah,
Nikki.
what we're going to do basically,
dance.
Dance, Nick. Jordy.itemorder.com. We're going to do basically a giveaway where you're going to follow Harper's Instagram and then put your Instagram username in the bunker, right? We're going to pick one person, check that you're following the Instagram, so you got to be following, then we're going to give you that gift card.
Yep, and we'll be shooting for $250 off of Sammy's fat face behind us off the basketball goal. Remember, Harper's Haberdashery is located out there in the Highland Road Shopping Center, right next to French Market Bistro. Stop in and see him, but we're shooting for $250.
At Harper's BR is the Instagram if y'all want to follow now so you don't forget later. Just make sure to do that, because if you're not following the account, can't give you the prize.
Also, we'll talk to Jerit Roser. Roser's going to be inside the studio, inside the UDL, coming up here at 7:30 this morning. We'll talk to Jerit about what's going on with recruiting. He follows the offseason 7-on-7 circuit as well as anyone who covers recruiting. We'll look forward to talking to Jerit coming up here at 7:30. He's from Tiger Details. We'll be inside the UTL. Money Mintz will stop by from the Northeast. He's up in New York. He's had a great week up at Barstool Sports. We'll talk to Mintz about it coming up here at 8:15 this morning. And then at 8:30, we'll go west. We'll go to Hollywood. We'll go to Los Angeles and link up with our guy, Nathan Velasquez, our good friend, the 5-Minute Critic. Hopefully you're following him on YouTube to keep up with the latest breakdown and what's happening in cinema and out in Los Angeles. So we'll talk to Velasquez coming up here at 8:30, and then at 9 o'clock. I'm telling you, we're packed here. I'm really excited about our 9 o'clock guest.
I cannot
Jeff
wait.
Martin, who has been at LSU. He's been a part of LSU football since 2002. In fact, the Justin Vincent Sports Illustrated that we have celebrating the 2003 national championship here at the UDL, right above Matthew. Is there any way that we get a shot of that, Mike? Is that we can get a shot of the Vincent cover here above Matthew and Burrow? Jeff Martin is, if that was a video and you let that thing run, Martin is in the end zone when Justin Vincent is celebrating as a ball boy for LSU, because he had started back in 2002. He had done everything around LSU football. He was in the personnel department, and now he's been hired by Southern California, and he's moving on. It's his first day on the job. He is out west in Los Angeles, so we'll stay out west for the last 30 minutes of the show today as Jeff Martin will check in from Southern California as we will close it up. So looking forward to today's show. I see everybody out there inside the bunker. We appreciate it as always. Make sure that you like, share, comment on today's feed.
We're 10 followers away from 3,000 on Twitter.
Nice. See if we can't get there before the weekend. Whitney Bro is is inside of the bunker. We are fired up about the Gridiron Show that's going to launch here on International Women's Day on March 8th. Whit will be here later today as we hammer out some details before her launch on March 8th. But it's good to see her up inside the bunker. Make sure you give her a follow in all of her social media, what's happening there. Tough one for the Pelicans last night as they fell on the road. They held Milwaukee on the ropes, but another dominant performance by Zion. I mean, it's starting to become like,
That's the thing.
So much
I mean, 34 points last night. Ingram had 23. Pelicans fall 129-125. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 38 last night, while Chris Middleton chipped in 31 for the Deer. But it is tough not to be excited about what you're seeing with Zion and just kind of his evolution and growth here in year two. We usually don't talk a lot of NBA, but I know that we've been talking it the last couple of days just because of what's happening right underneath our nose in New Orleans.
Aren't you going next week to a game?
Yes, we're going next week. We're going with Daniel
team
Newman.
Show?
A little individual field trip, see if we can't feel some things out.
Lakers game?
See if we can't feel some things out.
Send some emails.
And I'll report back. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going with Daniel Newman, Trey Wallbacker, and the crew to. We're gonna go watch the Bulls, Garrett Temple, and the Pelicans
let's go.
on Wednesday night. But it's forget the outcomes. really. I mean, I'm not really, you know, I'm
You're not tied to it like that.
I'm not tied to it where I'm checking the wins and losses and see how far back they are in the playoff run. I just like to see them growing and getting better as a team, and Zion really kind of exerting himself as a superstar.
Well, that's a nice change of pace when we've got so many amazing sports here that are year in, year out in championship contention, and every game means so much. Just to see a team kind of develop and mesh and mold like they are is kind of a nice change of pace.
And sometimes I don't think we celebrate the geographical advantage that we have for sports, right? I mean, like, you're sitting inside of an area right here, whether you're in Baton Rouge, wherever you're listening to this, in South Louisiana, you're even in Mississippi, in parts of Southwest Mississippi or the southern parts of Mississippi. You've got SEC football, big time SEC football. I mean, the national champs 2 years ago in Baton Rouge. You got the New Orleans Saints, who have been on the golden age of their run for the last, 15, 16 years under Sean Payton and Drew Brees. NFC title games, Super Bowls. And now the New Orleans Pelicans could exert themselves as a true player in the NBA, or at least with a face that looks like if he could settle in, and I don't want to jinx anything here, but I mean, if he can stay healthy, I mean, you're looking at a face of a franchise for potentially for the next 6 to 10 years, and a guy that really could be the absolute marquee name of the NBA. And somebody who I know that Anthony Davis had this same sense of mentality where he felt small town. He didn't feel small town. He didn't feel like he needed the bright lights. But he got to a point where he wanted to go to Los Angeles and he wanted to go play again, alongside LeBron. And I would not fault Anthony Davis for that. But Zion, for whatever reason, he really doesn't have that feel to him that he's going to yearn for that.
And he should.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
He has everything that you can market in terms of what his game is.
I mean, could you imagine how you could market him on Broadway if he played for the Knicks or the Nets, or if he played out in Los Angeles, or he even played in markets like Chicago? I mean, Dallas. I mean,
you saw that in the pre-draft hype. I mean, they had them all but going to the Knicks. They had the Knicks winning the lottery.
And really, the funniest part about that reaction was everybody telling him how he should feel, saying he should go back to Duke because he's going to be in a market. Like, you want him to give up this generational type money that he has sitting on a table and looking at him. And people are saying, hey, because you didn't wind up in some huge market, you need to go back to school and look out for your brand. Like, does anybody know that it's 2019, it's 2020? This guy could develop a YouTube channel. He could do his own media, own all of it, and be as relevant living in New Orleans as he could living in the center of the Hollywood Hills. I mean, like, it's not Nebraska football of the 1980s. It's not Notre Dame with we're the only ones with the NBC contract. You got to come here to get on TV. Everybody's on TV now. I mean, what's the draw? And now that this guy, Zion Williamson, is this type of player with that type of cachet in this league, and this team is getting better. I mean, the outcome last night, to see that they're even fighting with Giannis and them at the end. I mean, I don't know how you don't get a shot off at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but they're right there. Winners of 2 in a row.
Yeah,
I mean, I love it. It's good. It's all right. It's all right.
Zion gets the steal.
So, I mean, I know that we don't talk a lot about it, but Zion it's just fun to watch him right now. He's very humble. I mean, did you see him take Giannis at the top of the key last night? Shake him left. Giannis was defending, trying to take away his left hand. Sent him to the right. He went right by him like a point guard. I mean, that's 6'8", 270 dribbling it down the lane, coming at you like a freight train.
Oh, that's so good.
With skill level and confidence that he's coming to yak it. I mean, he's coming to break the rim on your head. Man, he gives me chills sometimes watching. I mean, just his size, his speed. I hope he can keep up just with the everyday grind and bounce and physical play of the NBA. But what you're watching right now, I mean, he is the bully on the schoolyard where you just hand the ball off to, or you just give the guy the ball on the basketball floor and just say, go get us two, man. I mean, like, turn and toss it to him on the football field, and wherever you're at, it's 6. He's like that on an NBA floor. Within 6 feet of the cup, within 6 feet of the bucket, he is unstoppable. Unstoppable. There is nobody on this planet, forget the league, on this planet that can stop Zion Williamson when he makes his mind up within 6 feet of the basket that he's scoring. It's over. You're either going to have to rake him, like try to hold his arms down, and he's going to the free throw line, or he's going to dunk it on your head. I mean, he's going to make you a poster. And that's all happening in New Orleans. And he's in his second season. It's incredible, man. It's fun to watch.
What's your comp for him? Have you ever seen anything like it?
Chris Webber?
Okay. I was thinking Orlando Shaq. Like skinny Shaq. Just the way you can handle the ball, you can go to the rim.
I mean, Shaq could handle it like that on the run in the open floor.
Right.
You couldn't stop the set.
Yeah. Well,
you couldn't get into a half-court set
and let him run.
Stop the ball, come give him the ball at the top of the key. Everybody clear out and just him go get a bucket. I mean, Chris Webber could do that his body at Michigan when he's just kind of like, geez. Barkley around the rim.
Definitely.
I mean, Barkley around the rim. I mean, Barkley's clips around the rim is incredible. But I don't really have a comp for his overall game. You know what I mean? His overall game to me sits in a league by itself. I'll ask Coach Wade about it because that's one of the cool things about it. You can talk that type of stuff with him and I'd like to just get somebody who studies, lives, breathes basketball like he does, what they think of that guy.
I would love to hear what he has to say.
You know what I mean? Like just
awesome.
the prospect,
right.
The player. I mean, what he is to those types of minds. Daily, we're brought to you by Go Chevrolet right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. It's GEAUX Chevrolet.com online, or it's conveniently located in Laplace with familiar names that you know in the auto industry, Lee Carney and Nick Richard. Richard should really be the mayor of Laplace. Lee Carney has done such a tremendous job of building a brand around vehicle sales. And now they're running Go Chevrolet. Stop in and see them. They got a great service department. They got great selections. They're online. Michael Divinity's down there selling cars. Stop in and see old Mike. Tell him hello. Tell him you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. But they got great selections, conveniently located in Laplace, Louisiana. Nick Richard, Lee Carney. Go see him today. Tell him you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll talk to Coach Wade coming up here at 8 a.m. and looking forward to talking to Coach and linking back up with him. It's been a minute since he's been by here on the show. And you know, when he stops by here, it's always brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. And if you're looking for a great place to eat for Lent, they got a great Lent schedule and menu. But this game tomorrow between LSU and Arkansas is going to be a draw. As far as just there is going to be a lot of interest, I'd imagine, around the league here. It's a fight for second place, and this is really going, in my opinion, you're really going to see what LSU's made of tomorrow, because they're walking into a spot where Arkansas, you could argue right now that Arkansas may be the most confident team in the country with the way that they're playing. Forget the league.
I think LSU has had the tools to be what Arkansas is this year. Mm-hmm. I just feel like they haven't shown up night in and night out.
Yeah, it's just been inconsistent. I mean, that's LSU. That's the label on LSU. Inconsistent.
That's what gives me hope for this game, though, is that team could show up.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's where they were going into Georgia. So it's not that far lost.
No, absolutely. You just get rid of that tape, and you're just like, look, move on.
And they were also coming off of a similar type performance before they got it right against Mississippi State.
Absolutely.
So this is something that he's had to coach against. This is an unforeign territory for them. But what is a little different is Arkansas waiting for you. And Arkansas is scary right now. 18-5 overall, 10-4 in the conference. And they're coming off of probably their best win of the season, where they just choked out Alabama at Bud Walton. I mean, Alabama has always looked like they were comfortable within games this season. They've never really looked awkward. They've never really looked clunky. They never really looked kind of out of touch. A couple of nights ago, they looked lost. Like they looked like, and every team has 1, 2, maybe even 3 or 4 of those games a season where it's not their night. They checked out. It's just not happening. It's not working. Ball's not falling. It's just nothing's going your way. But Arkansas did that to Alabama. It wasn't Alabama not prepared to play. Arkansas beat the hell out of Alabama the other night. And there was a lot of emotion in that arena. It was the first time that a ranked opponent, or they had a chance to beat a ranked opponent in Bud Walton, which is one of the great venues in college basketball when it's right. And it hadn't been right for about 20 years there. And it looks like Musselman David Patrick's a Baton Rouge native, recruited Ben Simmons here to LSU, is on his bench. It looks like they've got a lot of momentum rolling in the right direction, and LSU's coming in to a buzzsaw.
And it seems like LSU is always on this end of it.
But I don't feel like they're as helpless as walking into a buzzsaw. They can be an amazing team in this setting. I mean, it just depends on what their mentality is going out. I don't think it's a helpless scenario.
No, I don't think it's a helpless scenario, but they have to. They can't get off to the slow starts that have killed them in these games.
Then they just get uninterested.
Then they just check out. Yeah.
Well, and that was what kept them in against Tech. I think they were playing a little bit. They were overachieving a little bit during the game against Tech, but they started off to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, like they're here to play, and that they get in that mentality even more than I think the people watching do. So.
Big spot tomorrow. We'll talk to Willie about it coming up here at 8 a.m. this morning, how he feels about Arkansas. Right now, Arkansas's offense is averaging nearly 83 points a game, ranking the Razorbacks 14th nationally. LSU's defense, they've had some highs over the last couple of weeks, but they will be tested versus the Hogs on Saturday. We're looking forward to talking.
Tweets drafted up.
Yeah, you should. You should. I'm going to tell Wade. Remember Katie, the old Mississippi State tutor. She wanted to put a blindfold on Richard Lipsey. How do you think Richard would have dealt with that?
I think he would have done it.
Talking about a big fan of Will Wade.
Oh, I bet.
Richard Lipsey. All right, Jerit Roser for Tiger Details. Looking forward to catching up with him. LSU recruiting is on fire. You heard who did we hear this as Austin Thomas was here yesterday. And he was talking about the class of 2022 within the state of Louisiana. It's the 10th cycle that he's seen come through the state, and he's called it maybe the best that he's seen. Jerit Roser is over at Tiger Details. He's obviously got the brand Louisiana versus all y'all. He'll stop by in the UDL when we come back here on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented every single day by Falaya Real Estate. Remember, online at falaya.com. Get in touch with Barrett Blondo over there as he's changing the game and what's happening in real estate. Stop in and see Barrett. It's easy to find him. You can download the app. You can get online at falaya.com to keep up with everything that's happening over there. But if you want to sell your house, if you want to do it yourself, and you want to save thousands, it's a do-it-yourself for selling your house. And welcome to Empowered Real Estate, offered by falaya.com. Get in touch with Barrett. The phone number is easy, 225-939-6153, or online, falaya.com, and get the app. We'll talk to Jerit Roser about some recruiting next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers, all over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, Give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Go Chevrolet is under new management, but it's the same old familiar names that you know here from the area. Lee Carney and Nick Richard are up and running in Laplace, Louisiana, and they want you to stop in today. But if you can't, they'll make it easy for you. They'll come to you. Log online to GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet is conveniently located on Airline Highway in Laplace, Louisiana. Shop all the inventory, whether it's new or pre-owned, at GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet is under new management, but it's the same old familiar names that you know here from the area. Lee Carney and Nick Richard are up and running in Laplace, Louisiana, and they want you to stop in today. But if you can't, they'll make it easy for you. They'll come to you. Log online to GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet is conveniently located on Airline Highway in Laplace, Louisiana. Shop all the inventory, whether it's new or pre-owned, at GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Dr. James Johnson and Dr. Chad Spillers of Johnson and Spillers Dentistry, with 2 locations, one in Gonzales and one in Baton Rouge between Segan Lane and Bluebonnet, offer everything from ceramic crowns to pediatric dentistry, dental cleanings, Botox, extractions. They're online at johnsonspillers.com. Located in Gonzales and in Baton Rouge, seeing both new patients and existing patients. Log online to johnsonspillers.com.
If you missed the show, you can always check out our podcast, brought to you by RMB Builders, on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you can listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet, each day here on YouTube. We appreciate you for being out there. Make sure you have liked, shared, and if you want to comment on the post, we don't mind the dislikes either. It just means the interaction. It's all good, man. Make sure you're subscribed, too, on Twitter. Just a little shy of 3,000. We're trying to get there before the weekend, so help us out if you're on Twitter, on social media. Make sure you get over to Harper's Haberdashery. The IG over there, what is it, at Harper's?
Harper's BR.
At Harper's BR.
Make sure you're following when we do the free throw contest. If you're following and you put your name in the bunker, you can get entered to win that $250 gift card.
$250 from Harper's Haberdashery.
With a couple of cold shooters.
Yeah. Right.
You're leaving it up to us, but you know.
Couple of we'll be doing that Fridays here on the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, Jerit Roser, our guy, man. You know him from Louisiana versus all y'all. He's got some cool stuff happening with Julie Boudouin. He has made his way to the undisclosed location. I sent him to the field with the horse. He made his way in. The moat was dropped. He got here before the fog, or a little after the fog had run out. He is on Twitter at Jerit Roser. You know him from Tiger Details. He covers recruiting. My man. Good morning.
What up, man?
Hair looks great.
Thank you.
Yes, good to see you.
If I don't wake up and do something with it in the morning, it's insane.
Hey,
I feel you, brother.
I cannot feel that, but you look great. How's it going, man? We
It's
good?
good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So we've talked to a couple of people here about recruiting. Shaz Preston was here. We talked to he's got, I like him, man. Good personality, big game. Will Campbell and then Bordelon from Newman stopped by. And then Austin Thomas stops by here yesterday and tells me that this is the 10th cycle he's seen in Louisiana, because he's back here coaching LSU again, or he's back as the general manager. and he says that the 22 class in state could be the best he's seen. If it's not, it's probably the Odell Jarvis year, but he said that 22 is as gifted as the state has ever been.
Yeah, this is so Odell and Jarvis and those guys were before I really got into this, so I can't remember a class being this talented from the top and this deep. I talked to our guy Sam Spielman about this recently with the Rivals rankings and told him, man, I know people are angry with rankings every year, but be prepared for that more than ever because you're looking at guys that are typically top 20 guys in the state in most years that are going to be like down around 40, close to 50 because it's just that type of depth.
Walker Howard's the headliner. He got his 5th star earlier this week. How good is he?
He's really good.
Yeah.
And I think it was really cool this past year with him to see there had been so much hype built up with him. He was already committed to LSU by the time he takes the reins of that varsity program at STM that is fresh off of a state championship with Caleb Holstein at the helm. And so you kind of wait. Are there going to be some early growing pains with that at all? And he just hit the ground running, and everything that had been built up with him, you saw play out Friday after Friday. And considering that's his first year as varsity starter, and you usually see sort of a jump, that's really intriguing to see what we can see moving forward.
The 7-on-7 circuit, you follow that a lot, and I know that that's a popular deal. That it seems like in our industry, it's pretty uncovered. I mean, it's like you just kind of see a couple of clips coming out from this. You're there every weekend. What are those? What are those weekends like? What are those environments like? How much recruiting is happening within those settings?
It's a lot of fun, and I have from back when I was at NOLA.com Times Picayune, I started to be around the bootleggers a little bit, the premier 7-on-7 team in Louisiana, because it's just a really easy kind of one-stop shop to go see top Louisiana skill position guys and get some interviews really quick and just kind of see them against some other top competition. And year over year, I've kind of gotten closer and closer with them and traveled around with them a little bit more and really kind of fallen in love with just the energy and the access that's there. Because, I mean, I can get right behind the quarterback basically. And Caleb's little brother, Eli Holstein, the quarterback at Zachary, always jokes, I'm like the one camera guy that doesn't get in his way
you're
ever.
Like in the huddle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, dude, look at the access this guy. I mean, it's unreal. And that's, you kind of have that, we have that same personality. You're going to have to tell us to get out of the way. Like, you'll got to put yourself up in there.
There's been a couple plays where, so I have a good sense of Eli or past bootleggers quarterbacks and kind of what might be about to play out if somebody's going to bootleg out my way really hard. But occasionally if I'm watching some Louisiana DBs and another state quarterback rolls my way, I've had to kind of like hop out just because I see it peripherally, like the train's coming through sort of thing.
Right. So the bootleggers is kind of like, is that South? Is that Louisiana's team? Is that usually the best prospects? Is that where you find them?
Yeah. So it's the 7-on-7 circuit in Louisiana has blown up a lot over the past few years to where you see some other good organizations coming along. I mean, your familiarity with basketball side, Louisiana Elite now has a 7-on-7 team in its first year. A guy, Ken Agnew, has F3. That's a lot of guys that he was training that it's now in its second year. TJ Finley played with a group called EPS Blaze, but the bootleggers were kind of the first in Louisiana over a decade ago. That's where Odell and Jarvis and Tre'Davious and Dante and different guys for years have played. And it's a team that J.J. McCleskey, the former Saint, who's now on Tulane staff, was the coach of before jumping to Tulane. Ryan Clark had been working with the defense. Now he's kind of the head coach. There's a guy, Coach Fuse, that trains a lot of guys in the Lafayette area, and he's kind of branched out around the state a little bit more recently, but he calls the plays now for that offense. But it's it's high quality people around that organization, from players to coaches, and that makes it a ton of fun, and it brings a lot of attention to that team from the college levels.
How much stock do recruiters put into that part of the process?
It varies a little bit, I think, but I know I talk to coaches all the time about the coaches that come out. and you usually see high school coaches say it more, but occasionally some college coaches and try to downplay it and say no one's watching it. I know factually that's inaccurate because I haven't had a weekend of a big 7-on-7 tournament where you don't know that college coaches have found a way. My Twitter at the end of the weekend is likes on different videos of guys, and then you see offers come before. If it's a travel tournament like Nino LeMay at West Feliciana, didn't have anything going recruiting-wise, goes to Miami, has a big tournament, can't even get to the airport before FAU has said, hey, man, we want to offer you.
Wow. Tell me about the Louisiana versus all y'all thing, because I felt like I've kind of seen it grow, but now, I mean, it went through a summer, or it might have been a 7-on-7 summer where everywhere you looked up, I mean, somebody had some piece of gear on. You did an incredible job of boots on the ground marketing that thing. I don't know how you were able to reach that amount of people, but I mean, it was very much a testament to your hard work, because it felt like everywhere you turned, you were in their face, and that I thought that, you know, that's what we're kind of trying to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's very similar to what I can relate to. Tell me about the just kind of the origin of it and where it is now.
Yeah. So honestly, I really appreciate hearing that, because there's more days that I wish I had done a better job building out the infrastructure more quickly. And I've had some online shops kind of come and go, and I'm waiting to get another one live now. But you know, when I was leaving NOLA.com Times-Picayune in 2016, it was a job outside of sports that kind of fell in my lap. And as I continued to be approached about that role, going to work with international students, my attitude was kind of like, you know, this sounds really intriguing, but I'm not really ready to walk away from what I do with sports, particularly from just like the relationships with the high school guys and their families and everything there at that level. And was told that I could continue to do stuff on the side. And so then it was a matter of what that looked like. And I kind of want to start my own thing to just, I mean, at that point was more a matter of me having control of my schedule and not having to answer to someone else, not knowing like scheduling wise, what the juggling act might look like. And I'd always really kind of liked the Detroit versus everybody stuff, and had made some of my own shirts, little like iron-ons and things here and there. And had made one just block letter, Louisiana versus all y'all, at one point. That was kind of a phrase that came to mind. And so it all just kind of came together that I was like, all right, I'm going to start my own little thing. At that point, I started a website, datboot.com, just to write some kind of long-form features. And threw the Louisiana versus all y'all moniker with it, and made some shirts to kind of promote that. And then Louisiana versus all y'all became way bigger, just as kind of like a rallying cry almost for guys to rep the state.
Right. I mean, it was a tidal wave on how it kind of took off. I mean, it felt like everywhere you looked, it was in their face. So what are is it
7-on-7 really
just
helped a lot
maintaining
with that too?
Yeah. Is there a bigger plan to it, or you just kind of?
Yeah, I definitely want to. There's a few things I have in mind, kind of building it out more. And I was telling you guys prior to this, I guess, we chatted a little bit. I've done a couple little things with schools. Like there's some Woodlawn versus all y'all shirts floating around out there from a little fundraiser I did with them. And I've been having the 9 football state champions. I've been having their specific logos drawn. So like there's going to be some Catholic versus all y'all, STM versus all y'all, Madison Prep versus all y'all, and some of those schools. And I want to start doing a better job working with particularly high schools, but also doing some different areas of the state and stuff. I know like some of the Edna Carr folks like the idea of an Algiers versus all y'all and things like that. And then I just, as I mentioned too, I have to build out the infrastructure better, so it's not me like hand to hand out the trunk of my car most of the time.
But it does have a early like Compton feel, like, you know what I mean? It does, it does, man. I mean, like just slinging mixtapes in the hood.
Hey, look at Maverick Carter.
A whole day, yeah.
We tried to play with that a little bit a few years ago too. Me and Jay Cody and Leslie Presnell, who does Southern Flair fashion blog. We did a little photo shoot downtown one day, and it was very like, it was, I guess, around the time that J. Cole's, was that Forest Hill Drive? Whatever Dope was on. And so we kind of played with that song, and like the neighbors think I'm selling dope. I am, and just like instead of like dope, it was like something that is dope sort of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's going on with Julie Boudouin? I know that you guys are kind of going to getting together, and y'all are forming some camps that are going to pop up all over this summer. You're going to start in Shreveport. What's the plan behind it?
Yeah, we're really excited. Score U, getting off the ground.
Nice.
Something that I think we'd really started to talk about a lot with how weird the last year got and how much exposure was lost for a lot of the young high school athletes as they were trying to get their name out there recruiting-wise. And it would have been something great that had COVID allowed it for us to start a little bit more quickly. But as we continued to talk with some guys and some high school coaches and some parents, we realized there was an opportunity there to help them feel like they had some more control over getting some more film out at times. And so we've been building that out. We'll start in March 20th at Calvary Baptist up in Shreveport and then come south for some events after that. But we'll work with some youth camp type stuff in the morning, and then the afternoon we'll have full testing with some laser equipment, as well as some different drill work, some one-on-one, some 7-on-7 with predominantly a lot of high school coaches helping run that piece of it. And for the high school guys especially, everything will be filmed. We have a new camera, like state-of-the-art AI camera that we bought. Actually, we went and found a place in Europe and just got it from Europe.
Wow.
In the last couple weeks. That'll be kind of overhead, as well as everything that we're doing on the ground. And so far, promoting the event in Shreveport, we have a lot of good media connections. It sounds like a lot of TV and newspaper folks are going to come out and help as well.
Do you think that you'll ever get to a point where, because I think you start to see this in the NBA, where NBA teams are just hiring now agents to become their general managers because they want to recruit players? Mm-hmm. I mean, Rob Pelinka in Los Angeles. I think that the Knicks hired Worldwide West to run their personnel department. Do you think that you'll ever get to a point, or have you fielded calls from colleges that want to hire you as a recruiter? Because why wouldn't somebody just hire you, Shea, or somebody like that who just knows, that has been studying these people since they were, almost 15, 16 years old? Do you think that is a evolution of would you even want that?
It's funny. So my best friend, Tyler Batiste, who I went to LSU with, and he's up in Pittsburgh now, and number 2, the deputy editor for the NBA coverage for The Athletic. His uncle, Raymond Brothers, is a pretty prominent NBA agent. And so from a point in college, we joked, look, if Uncle Raymond wants to send us through law school and stuff, like, we'll go do that agent thing. Like, you just let us know. But it was always just kind of playing around. And then you've seen, I guess, the way you mentioned a few folks here, but the way a lot of our careers have gone and some of the relationships with some of the high school players and coaches, and then the way that industry has gone, as you mentioned, I think people have kind of asked me about that a little bit more. I've had some kind of playful conversations as well with some like college coordinators and stuff, that if they ever have the opportunity as a head guy, that they would consider me doing some sort of like high school liaison, like communications relationships with the high schools around the state and stuff like that.
It's just about your network, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what we figured out in the short term that we've been out on our own. You know what I mean? In a month. I mean, it's really about how you bridge your network, and your network of high school talent to coaches in that field is firm. You know what I mean? Like, that's a sturdy bridge. So I wonder about that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out, and it would certainly be something that would be really intriguing depending on what the situation is. But I know something. So when I started the Louisiana versus all y'all thing as well, I talked to Michael Bonnet over at LSU a little bit about maybe writing some for LSU Sports before I decided to just kind of do my own thing and have no deadlines basically at that point. And I was worried about what my flexibility would be to be as involved with as many high school kids and their families and be able to help as many people from that level as possible. And so I think that would be something that I'd consider if it ever came to that, of how much that might hamstring me, what it might look like, exact roles and limitations.
Devin Stibe is inside the bunker and wants to know, will Jay Rose be in Thibodeau for the 7-on-7 tomorrow?
That's the plan.
Nice. All right, tell everybody how to keep up with you and what's going on with you because you're all over the place. You're on Twitter, you're on social. Where to keep up with what you got going on?
Yeah, Twitter's the best place that everything kind of gets funneled through. Just Jerit Roser, JeritRoser. But Tiger Details stuff, go check out that site for all LSU news. I continue to funnel videos, some LSU related, but mostly not, through Louisiana versus all y'all on YouTube, trying to get that subscriber number up. And then if anyone's up in North Louisiana wants to come out to one of these camps, definitely come to Score U on March 20th at Calvary Baptist. And we'll also, Rivals and 247, I think, just had some rankings updates, and I do some work with Prep Red Zone Louisiana, and so we'll have some updated 2022, 2023, and 2024 rankings coming around the bend as well.
Good to see you, bro.
Always, man.
Thank you for stopping
guys.
by. Absolutely. Don't tell anybody where you are.
Oh, I couldn't if I tried.
That's exactly right. There you go. At Jerit Roser on Twitter is where you find him. At Tiger Details is where you read all the work, man. They're doing great stuff over there, and him and Julie have the Score U camp circuit coming to Shreveport is where they'll launch on March 20th, and that is that will be a pain that is eased for a lot of people out there because right now exposure seems to be a problem for a lot of high school athletes. You think about these classes, even like the sophomore, junior classes that right now are in the teeth of their recruiting cycle. They need to get their talents out in front of people, and this is a great way to do that. Jerit and Julie are doing that starting March 20th with Score U up in Shreveport. We will close out hour one when we come back. There's much more to get to. Will Wade will be here in 10 minutes. We will talk to Coach Wade about the Arkansas game tomorrow, what practice has been like since the Georgia game. But don't forget, daily we're brought to you by AdvantaClean. Remember, if you wake up this morning, you feel water in your carpet, or you smell smoke, or you smell fire, or you see mold, get in touch with AdvantaClean. You can get in touch with our friend Bradley Lynch over there, and that's the thing about Bradley over at AdvantaClean. One call, and that's it, man. It's going to be a terrible day if you got water, fire, or mold, but once you get in touch with Lynch over at AdvantaClean, you're out of the way. He's going to take command. He's going to work with the insurance company. He's going to make sure it's taken care of on time and get back to you. AdvantaClean, ADVANTA, clean.com, AdvantaClean.com. We'll be back to close out hour one here on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers, all over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Can you be assured that the air and surfaces in your home are clean, sanitized, and safe for you and your entire family? You can now by logging on to Valera.com/Jordy Culotta, where you, your home, your office, your family can be protected 24/7 with active pure technology. This NASA-based science has proven 99.9% reduction of airborne SARS-2 and COVID-19 virus in just 3 minutes. Log on now to Valera.com/Jordy Culotta.
Have a late night and can't make it for the Jordy Culotta Show at 7 a.m.? No worries. Catch us on demand on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. Good stuff from Jerit Roser. Appreciate him stopping by in the UDL. Tomorrow, a huge college basketball game that features LSU in the Southeastern Conference as the Tigers travel to Bud Walton Arena as they will face Arkansas tomorrow at 1 o'clock as it will be a showdown in Fayetteville. Will Wade, who's the head LSU basketball coach. Tigers are winners 3 of the last 4, but a tough one last time out versus Georgia. Coach Wade is stopping back by here with us on the Jordy Culotta Show. You know that's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Stop by and see him today. Great Lenten menu for you if you are celebrating that here in South Louisiana. Coach Wade, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing okay. How has the practice been since you guys have returned home since from Athens?
Well, we had a solid day yesterday. We took Wednesday off. And then yesterday we did some film and we did some cleaning up of our offense. And today we do a lot more film and work on some offense and defense and some full court things. So, we've got a lot of things that we need to work on. We're going to work on finishing out the first half. We've been really, really poor finishing out the first half. Even in our wins against Auburn, we lost the end of the first half 11-5. We lost 21-6 the other night. Against Georgia. I mean, it was a 24-23 with 5.5 minutes to go in the first half, and then the wheels came off for us. And, if Darius Days doesn't hit the 3 at the end of the first half against Auburn, it was 11-2 Auburn. It ended up being 11-5 Auburn when Days hit the 3. So we've got to get that corrected. We got to get the right guys out there. We got to get fresh guys out there, and we've got to be able to run good offense and move the ball and take better shots where we can get back and get our defense set. So we got a lot of things we got to improve on, and we're playing a great team in Arkansas.
Any positives to take away Tuesday night to grow on to go into the matchup tomorrow?
Not really. I didn't see a lot of positive live, and I didn't see a lot of positive on the film. So I don't know how much we can. I guess the positive is hopefully we won't be any worse than that.
Moses Moody, Jalen Tate, 2 of the top players for Arkansas. What are some of the challenges that Musselman's crew presents tomorrow?
Well, they've really improved defensively. They've gotten Justin Smith back. He didn't play against us the first game. He's a double-digit scorer, grad transfer from Indiana. So they've gotten him back. He makes a big difference for them, both on offense and defense. He's active. He finishes well around the rim. It's allowed them to not have to play some guys that maybe played more than they would want to against us the first time. And Smith's just really, really productive. Jalen Tate's been playing at an extremely high level, and Moody's been their most consistent shooter, their most consistent scorer all season. Devo Davis has really started to play well for him. He struggled against us the first time. He missed a bunch of layups and a bunch of chippies, but he's really, really playing well. He's long, he's athletic, he can really guard. And so, yeah, they're playing at a high level. They're as good a team as I've seen in our league at getting the scouting report into the game, following the scouting report to a T. And so, they're gonna take away some of our strengths. They're gonna give us a lot of resistance on the defensive end, and we're going to have to play through that resistance a lot better than we did Tuesday night at Georgia.
Taking out the Tuesday night game, you have to have liked what you've seen on the defensive end from your group, right?
Yeah, we've been better. We've been better. Our offense has helped our defense. I mean, we've been improved and we've been better. But we've still got we still got a ways to go, and we're still searching for that consistency, which we hadn't had. So we've got to be more consistent with it, and then we'll be the team we want to be. But we've got too much Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. We got too much 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back. We just haven't been able to just take off. But time's running out. It's time to make it happen.
I asked Coach Brady this the other day, and he said, look, man, when you're in it, you just want your team to play right every night. But it seemed like your team was trending in the right direction heading into March. Is there an emphasis on coaching the group into that type of rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously want to have great rhythm, great chemistry, and be playing your best as you come down the stretch. You don't want to peak too early, but we haven't come anywhere close to peaking yet. So really for us, it's just we've got to start playing full games, complete 40 minutes, playing with more pop, playing with more purpose. Playing how every possession matters. Every possession can be a difference maker. All that stuff is things that we've got to improve on and got to be able to carry over into games and practice.
What's today like before you guys travel today?
Yeah, we're going to practice this afternoon. We'll practice at 12:30. Give the guys a little bit of time to go back, get their stuff, and then we'll bolt out of here this afternoon. Fly up there. It's a quick flight, about an hour flight, and then we'll go over to Bud Walton and shoot tonight. The game's at 1, so we won't do shoot around or anything tomorrow morning. We'll get up in the hotel, do some film, walk through in the meeting room at the hotel, and then put our uniforms on, head over, and get ready to go.
We had Richard Lipsey in the studio with us the other day. I know that you're fully focused on your group in basketball right now, but he's a huge fan of yours. Can you just talk about what he's meant to you and your program?
Yeah, Mr. Lipsey's been awesome. He actually sent me an email yesterday, and him and Susan, his wife, they're just tremendous people, tremendous supporters. She texts me before and after just about every game, and so they love LSU, they love Louisiana, they love our basketball program, they love all of our athletic programs, and just great people, great supporters, and very, very thankful to have them as a part of our team and program. So great people. They went to LA with us. They went to Los Angeles with us last year when we played Southern Cal. They were at Kentucky when we won at Kentucky the year we won the SEC. I thought Mr. Richard was going to jump over the bench. He got so excited when Cavell tipped that thing in. So just great folks, and very, very thankful to have them as a part of our program.
The same person that cost you the Texas Tech game, Katie on our staff, who early tweeted, wanted to put a blindfold on Mr. Lipsey. We shut that down before he got
that was probably a good idea. That was probably a good idea.
Real quick, and I don't mean to ask you this one because it's not about your team, but Zion Williamson is butting into a superstar in the NBA. He had 30 last night versus Milwaukee. I know that you were in the same time when he was being recruited. You were around him when he was being recruited. You contacted him and tried to get him to LSU. He looks like he is butting into a superstar in the NBA. From your basketball mind, who eats, sleeps, drinks basketball all day, what is he, the prospect? Who is Zion Williamson, the basketball player?
I mean, he just really. I caught part of the game last night. I didn't get to see the whole game, but I caught the second half of the third quarter and most of the fourth quarter, and basically an NBA game. That's all you need to catch because they're all going to be pretty close.
Right.
But I mean, he's just really, asserting himself, and I mean, his body's gotten. I think his body's gotten sturdier. I think he's gotten more confident with his body, and that's allowed him to just really buckle down and use his body, I think, better, and he's just more confident. And the Pels have got better players around him too. Mm-hmm. They put some better pieces around him, which have opened some things up for him. But I agree. I mean, I think he's an absolute superstar and somebody that the Pels can build around for a while.
Yeah. You know who else is balling in the league is Nas. Nas has been playing really good.
Nas has played well. Skylar's been getting some minutes. Trey got some minutes the other night for Boston. So those guys have all been doing great. I talked to Nas actually the other day. He was pretty fired up.
Let's go, Coach. Huge win tomorrow, man. How you feeling?
We got to find a way.
Yeah.
Got to find a way to get it done. And so we didn't put our best foot forward on Tuesday, but we can do it tomorrow. Tuesday has no effect on tomorrow. We got to play with some pop. We got to play with some swag. We didn't have any of that. We looked dejected and non-energetic, and that's not words you want to use to describe your program or your team. But we got to turn around and be the exact opposite of that Saturday afternoon in Fayetteville.
Hell yeah, man! Boot up, go get him, Coach. We'll see you, man. We'll be watching. Thank you for the time this morning.
Thanks, guys. Boot up.
Yep, there he is. Will Wade checking in this morning from LSU Basketball. A walkthrough this afternoon, and then in the air to Fayetteville tomorrow for a showdown at 1:00 at Bud Walton Arena with second place in the conference on the line against maybe one of the best maybe the hottest team in the country right now in Arkansas. If they're not, they're in the discussion. LSU with a huge, enormous opportunity tomorrow afternoon at 1:00. That conversation with Will Wade every single time here he is on the Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar, conveniently located right in the middle of our city in the South Down Shopping Center. Go see Anthony and the crew today. A great Lenten menu if you're looking for seafood selections. The menu is already filled up with seafood specials, but definitely during the Lenten season, they will give you more specials and more options to choose from. Katie and I were in there the other day, got a dozen raw oysters right off the top, and they were fantastic as always. Tim Johnson got the fried shrimp platter, which was great. Katie was there last night. Stop in and see Phil's. As we said, great Lenten menu that they're celebrating here down in South Louisiana. You can find them on Facebook, find them on social media, and they sponsor the Will Wade conversation right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
There with Will. I mean, don't talk about me like I'm not here.
Did he throw you under the bus, or did you jinx the team? Is the question.
It's a great win for the Tigers today. 4 minutes left. All right, let's go to New York City next. We'll talk to Ben Mintz next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Hey, it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers. All over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Down Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at rmb-builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. Can you be assured that the air and surfaces in your home are clean, sanitized, and safe for you and your entire family? You can now by logging on to valera.com/Jordy Culotta, where you, your home, your office, your family can be protected 24/7 with active pure technology. This NASA-based science has proven 99.9% reduction of airborne SARS-2 and COVID-19 virus in just 3 minutes. Log on now to valera.com/Jordy Culotta.
Have a late night and can't make it for the Jordy Culotta Show at 7 a.m.? No worries. Catch us on demand on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast.
Here to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Go Chevrolet. Every single day, stop in and see Lee Carney and the crew. We'll link up with Mintzy here in a minute, but I wanted to talk about this story before we got Mintzy on the air. I'm fired up for Brandon Harris, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
yes. I was hoping we would talk about this.
Up for Brandon Harris. In fact, I reached out to Brandon, and he put me in touch with the Texas Sports Information Director, who shot down the radio request. I mean the interview request.
Just a podcast,
just
dude.
boom, just right on the spot. I'm sorry, the only one that speaks for our program is Coach Sark. I'm like, geez, bro, get the Saban thing up. Not everybody has to be Saban. Let other people speak. He's the recruiting coordinator. I'm trying to give you a weekly in Louisiana. Next thing you know, Harris is a finalist for the quarterbacks coach for the Los Angeles Rams. I talked to Harris yesterday. He said, I killed the interview.
Let's go,
He killed the interview.
Yeah.
He's like, I killed that shit.
I've heard
Take
it says
it.
if he wants it. That was the last report I've heard. That's just, but that's not verified by anything. But I've heard he obviously did because I heard it's his if he wants it.
Take it and run, bro.
He is
Take it and run.
going to his grandmother's funeral over the weekend. They told him to take the weekend to think about it, and obviously with what he's going to be dealing with. But I mean,
Dude, the chance to go work with Sean McVay.
are you kidding?
That's
Matthew Stafford?
dude, you're hopping like.
I mean, I was talking. I was like, your room is going to teach you how to be a better coach. He said Sarkisian told him within 20 minutes. He said, "Bro, you're going to be a superstar."
Let's go.
He said, "You
Coach.
are going to be a superstar in this industry." He said, "Coach, why?" He said, "Because you smile and you got those pearly whites. You got a great personality. You're personable. You can recruit, and you can get into any door. You've got the experience, man." I think Brandon Harris is going to be as great as he wants to be as a football coach. There is no telling what the limit is to Brandon Harris.
and there's no doubt he can still wing it around out there if you need him to.
Absolutely.
My
Yeah.
goodness,
Absolutely,
what a rifle.
bro. He's got just a cannon
Cannon.
connecting to his right shoulder. But I'm fired up for him. First off, Sark kept him on at Texas and named him the director of recruiting, which is a great gig at the University of Texas. Texas director of recruiting. And then yesterday, he was named as the top candidate as the Los Angeles Rams assistant quarterbacks coach, which he said will put him on the field. He'll be the one like signaling in the plays. He'll have a headset on. And just what an unbelievable experience, man. What an incredible experience that would be a resume builder for Harris, who has aspirations of becoming a head coach. He wants to be a head coach. He thinks both at college and NFL level, whatever is possible at this point. But him as a college football coach, I'm telling you, he would be
he'd kill it.
a superstar.
Absolutely kill it.
He
And
would be a superstar.
That's the best part about being on McVay's tree is that, Texas would be an awesome, valuable experience, but McVay's just that hot name, man.
Yeah.
People want anyone who's associated with McVay. They
Put that on the
want the
resume.
next one. Yeah, I mean, that's...
Wait,
and-
David just texted me that Brandon Harris is the guy we were playing blackjack with at LeBeur's one night.
Oh, probably so.
We were. I
Probably
remember
so.
now. I
Probably
totally
so.
forgot about that.
Great personality.
Yeah.
Great personality.
Yeah.
I'm going to put our Bluetooth up here. Go up to New York City.
Hello.
Money Mintz.
Good morning.
How
are
we
we doing
doing,
on the
buddy?
Jordy Culotta Show?
Absolutely. Have you received the gear yet?
I have not. I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it though, and I heard there was something from Marty.
Yeah,
too.
no, it's in the mail for you and
Carrier
Marty.
pigeon.
We're speaking to you, Cody Edwards. All right, at Barstool Mincy on Twitter. I saw you came up with some gear, buddy. The Sup Fellas is out.
Yeah. Well, look, with that Arctic blast that hit the South last week, we've been talking about doing hoodies and shirts for a while, and I realized when I saw the cold weather in the South, like ain't no time like the present to get the hoodies out when everybody's freezing in the South. So we kind of rushed it, but we got them out, and man, they're doing real well. I'm excited about it. People are sending me receipt. I get a lot of pictures of people buying them, and man, it's wild because I didn't even plan on the Sup Fellas being anything. I didn't. One of the first after dinner videos I did, which is a minute video I do out every night. I didn't know what I was going to say, and so I just randomly said "Sup Fellas" into a camera. Like there was no plan, there was nothing, and it just became a huge thing around the office now. It's pretty funny.
The power of Mincy, bro. It seems like you're on a heater right now. The last week and a half, it seems like good things are happening in your life.
Oh, it is. It's crazy. I think what happened maybe was I was out of the office for a week, 2 weeks ago at Barstool off some contact tracing COVID stuff. I mean, I didn't get the virus or anything, but they're just taking it very seriously up here, which is good.
Yep.
But I think the week I was out of the office, not that I hadn't been very motivated the whole time, but I think it recharged me in a way. Because since I came in there last Tuesday on Fat Tuesday, I mean, I feel like everything I touch is on fire right now.
Let's go.
And yeah, it's wild, man. I'm getting a lot of respect in the office too. I think I'm turning some heads. I think we're this is such an exciting journey. It's just surreal.
What was the marathon like, bro? What was the marathon like?
The marathon. We hadn't done no marathon.
No, did you run a 5K last week or something?
Yeah, no, I ran a 10K. I ran a couple. I hit the 6.2.
Yeah, right, bro. It's a marathon. That's two marathons in the Culotta book.
Yeah, I hit man, I'm killing it. It's so crazy, Jordy, because there's all these. So 10 years ago, in 2011, was my best year. Well, one of my best years of my life was when I was living in New Orleans, and I was like 27, and that was the year I was really running a ton and lost a lot of weight, and I was crushing poker. I did good in the World Series Maine. I traveled the country, and it's like there are these vibes of 2011 just hanging around right now. It's like 10 years later. But it's that same just crazy high energy, except for then I partied a lot when I was 27, and now I don't at 37. But it's just like it's weird. It's like it feels almost like deja vu-esque in a different way. But, man, it's just going so good. I've run like 15 miles this week and everything. Playboy Marty's doing great up here. I'm really lucky to have him up here because, man, it's all about this video content. I know y'all do a lot of it too. But, man, people love these 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute videos. That's the society we live in now, and so we're just banging them out. And I'm red hot in basketball. I'm in like 18-5 in my basketball picks this week. I mean, it's crazy. It's like every element that I'm touching right now is on fire. And so I'm trying to just enjoy it.
I saw you hammered the over last night on the Pelicans. That seems like that's you might have found a formula.
Well, they're 19-1 in the last 20. I'm actually mad that I didn't. I'm actually. Yeah, I'm actually mad that I didn't get on it like 10 games ago. People started talking about it. I'm like, how have I not been on this? I watch every game. But, yeah, they put the thing last night, Jordy, in a pro basketball game. It was 242.5, and it still went way over. I mean, that's one of the highest totals I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Freaking 120 to 115 game goes under.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy how wild they get. But the emergence of Zion, though, I know people are like, you never know what you're going to get when the Pelicans take the floor because they'll beat good teams, lose bad teams. But just getting to sit back and watch Zion emerge as a superstar, and seeing the fact that the Pelicans made the right adjustments to put him at the point forward and now run the offense through him. I mean, he's so special. It's almost like he's the Shaquille O'Neal of this modern spacing era. Because all the big guys now are like 7 feet and stretch 4s and stretch 5s, and none of them are physical enough to stop him.
It's incredible what he does to NBA basketball players within 6 feet of the rim. I mean, he is the bully of the schoolyard in the NBA. He's unstoppable within 6 feet.
And it's also cool too how he doesn't. You see even like LeBron and people that are so talented. Zion doesn't settle for those crappy mid-range fadeaway, low percentage shots ever. ever. He just gets to the rim and, man, he shoots like Shaquille O'Neal from the field goals, man. I remember Shaq used to go 15 for 20. Zion's doing that stuff almost every night now.
Yeah, he had 34 last night against Milwaukee, and the winner or the would-be winner in regulation last weekend versus Tristan Thompson in Boston, I think will live on for. I mean, you'll see that forever. I mean, that was a 260-pound NBA veteran bouncing off of a second-year NBA player in Zion like a mosquito on a windshield. I mean, it didn't even look like it was even a threat. Mintz, what are you guys going to do for March Madness? So y'all gearing up for? It's going to be wild.
Okay,
huh?
so y'all, it's going to be nuts. But the thing, so basically, what's going on here is, with the Barstool Sportsbook app, and then all these states are launching legal sports gambling, and Louisiana we'll talk more in the next couple shows. So Louisiana's next legislative session, April 12th. Formalizing the sports gambling stuff that got passed in November. So I'm keeping a close eye on that. But what's going on here is they think Illinois could be in the next couple of weeks. I think there's a chance in New Jersey or Tennessee. And so I kind of think we're, doing these launches and going to do the gambling stuff with that. I'm not totally sure all the details. I put in a request to go out to Colorado because we own
little boots on the ground reporting, huh?
Yeah. Penn Gaming owns Ameristar in Blackhawk, Colorado. It's super nice. It's 30 miles west of Denver. I played a lot of poker there. I love going out there, and they got a new $1 million sports book in Colorado, and so I want to go out there and go to Colorado and watch games and do that. It's kind of what I want to do, but I'm going to do whatever they need me to do, obviously. But I'm looking forward to March Madness. Really hope to see LSU. I think LSU is certainly in the tournament right now.
Should be.
I'm very curious to see what's going to happen on Saturday. Arkansas, red hot, hottest team in the SEC. LSU just showing the thing about being a young and inexperienced game. I mean, they played one of the best efforts, the best effort of the season, blowing out Auburn Saturday, and they just completely no-showed on Tuesday at Athens.
Mintzy, Hilton Guidry inside the bunker wants to know, ask Money Mintz, is there a line on which team has the best shot at landing Russell Wilson?
I have not seen one yet. I couldn't believe I can understand why Wilson wants that. I think he sees the longevity of Brady and Breeze, and he's been playing behind these trash O-lines in Seattle forever. And not even just the O-line thing. I don't think Seattle's really ever had like a really formal, like functioning NFL offense. So much of that offense has been, hey, Russ, they run it.
Out.
Yeah, hey, Russ, like scramble around for 8 seconds and let I think he sees, Sean Payton and all these, really good NFL offenses, and I think he wants to be in one. The Saints thing would be a dream, but I can't see it. Yeah. The Cowboys thing would be interesting because you mentioned them, and I wonder if they'd ship Dak and some stuff to Seattle for him. That actually could happen. But I don't know, man. It's hard. It's wild. It's hard to believe. All of a sudden, it's interesting seeing players find their voices so much more now. You see Deshaun Watson ask for a trade, Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz. This is kind of a follow-up of how the NBA has become like this the last few years.
Well, this
now
is the LeBron. This is all comes LeBron from the decision. Effect. I mean, this all started 10 years ago with the decision.
Yeah, I think the players are learning just how much power they have, and it's fascinating to follow. I just can't even imagine Russell Wilson not in Seattle. Certainly thought him and Pete Carroll have been quite the match.
Mintzy, any update on the college baseball inroads? You want to start digging up there at Barstool? I think that would be an absolute home run.
Man,
no pun intended.
I'm pushing it. So we're on this clubhouse, this joint clubhouse app now, which is an interesting app. I really like. I'm going on there live daily for 30 minutes or an hour with Big Ohio State guy up here, and it's doing well. We're starting to talk some college baseball on there. My profile is certainly rising at Barstool, but I'm not at a point where, I have heaps of power by any means. So I'd like to show them that the college baseball podcast will work by just all the messages and support I get. I mean, I can't even tell you. I've got hundreds of messages saying the people want it. And so what I'm doing is just kind of going to keep building it on Clubhouse. And, in a few weeks before conference play starts up in mid-March for SEC, hopefully if my numbers are good, I'll be able to pitch it and it can become a podcast. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to be doing the content. Obviously, as an Ole Miss Rebel, you don't get to be number one in the country very often in anything. And so I'm enjoying, even though it's only 4 games in, loving what's going on there. And I'm going to go ahead and say LSU and Ole Miss baseball series is April 22nd through 24th in Oxford, and I've got that on my calendar.
A little post 420 celebration for Mintzy and the crew. What's happening this weekend, Barstool Mintzy?
This weekend I honestly don't have too much. Look, going over to Gumbo Brothers in Brooklyn.
He hooked you. You got one,
yeah.
Huh? Yep.
Yeah, he's an LSU guy, actually. Started it. Clay Bowl there, but going large and I are going over there and going to eat some gumbo and fried catfish on a Lenten Friday today. Going to do that and do some content with that. As far as the weekends goes, I really honestly don't have too much planned. I feel like I don't know what the vibe's like at Baton Rouge, but starting to think we may be getting on the other side of this COVID deal here finally. It certainly seems like there's a lot of positivity. A lot of people, my parents have both gotten the vaccines now. And, I'm a glass half full guy, to say the least. But, man, I think the second half of this year could be really fun.
COVID and weather, both starting to look like they're getting into the rearview mirror. If I could get an outdoor concert here pretty shortly, which looks like could happen over at Beauvoir Park, your friend Jay Hoover has got some really cool stuff that's happening. And we'll be catching up all of our listeners on some stuff that they got coming up, which is some really cool stuff over there. It doesn't look like St. Patrick's Day is going to make it here in South Louisiana, but hopefully it'll be back in action next year. Mintzy, proud of you, man. Keep up the hard work, and we will stay in touch.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And I'm telling you, as good as this is going now, it really is just getting started. Wait till we get out the road and all hell to break loose. Still take it easy.
Go, brother.
Amen. Shotgun, brother. I'll be there. Whoa. Okay.
Did you hang up on
No, that was just him on the way out. Just riding.
Prez might have grabbed him.
Just riding on the way out. All right, so there's Barstool Mintzy checking in this morning. Remember, we're brought to you by RMB Builders. Rhett Bourgeois and his crew, rmb-builders.com. Bring our podcast to you every day. 921-7062 is the phone number. They can custom build you a home. They can help you remodel your home, or if you just need a little reconstruction work around the house today, he can help you out as well. 921-7062 is the phone number. Online at rmb-builders.com to get in touch with Rhett Bourgeois and his crew. We appreciate his support for the Jordy Culotta Show. Make sure and tell him that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show on YouTube, presented daily by Go Chevrolet. You see, Bronny James suffered a torn meniscus. He's going to be out. He did it at practice earlier this month. This is LeBron's oldest son, who plays out at Sierra Canyon School in Los Angeles, which hasn't played any official games this season due to the pandemic, but said he plans to play spring basketball. Bronny, who is 6'2", plays guard, averages just under 5 points in 15 minutes as a freshman for a national power in Sierra Canyon. Played in all 34 games last season. LeBron James and his partner Maverick Carter are producing a docuseries called Sierra Canyon's on Sierra Canyon's 2019-2020 season called Top Class. It features Bronny and his classmates. It'll be out on Amazon this week, but the oldest of LeBron's sons, Bronny James, is going under the knife for a torn meniscus at 16 years old. They may a lot of publications have him if the rule changes back to high school to NBA, he could possibly be potentially a number one pick, or if the plan is still in place, I'm sure he'll end up playing for Krzyzewski over at Duke for a season before he goes to before he gets into the NBA. All right, we'll go out west next as we'll check in with Nathan Velasquez, see what's happening out in Hollywood as we check in with our 5-minute critic, just like we do every Friday here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Hey, it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers. All over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com.
We got a couple announcements here. We are 6 followers away from 3,000, y'all. Come on, get us to 3,000 before the show's over, and we might give away some merch. I don't know. Do it and we'll find out. Also, the Harper's giveaway. If you enter your Instagram handle into the chat on YouTube, you'll be entered to win a $250 gift card if we make a shot, and that is a very, very big if.
Yet.
It is not guaranteed at all, but we might be able to make it work. Make sure you got to follow at Harper's BR, though. Got to do that and enter your Instagram handle into the chat, and we will pick a winner.
Sick.
Graphics.
Look at those graphics.
We're just improving every day, boys.
Little 1%, just 1%.
Jordy.itemortar.com.
That's what we're shooting from the field.
Yeah.
All right, from New York City, as Ben Mintz is out in Manhattan to the hills of Hollywood.
Coast to coast.
Nathan Velasquez, who is, of course, the 5-minute critic who we talk to every week here. You got to make sure and subscribe to his YouTube channel at 5-minute critic, at the number 5 men critic on Twitter is where you can follow him on social media. But he checks in every week here with us on the Jordy Culotta Show. Good morning, Nate. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. How you guys doing over there?
Doing good. Any trips planned back home? I think I asked you this last week. I know that you probably answered this, but refresh me.
Yep. 2 weeks.
That's
Actually,
right.
going to be directing a few ads out there, actually. So I'm going to be there second week in March. I have heard a lot about this. It's an undisclosed location? It's a bunker?
It is, Nathan. That is enough.
Ooh.
We will talk about this off the air. All right, bigger news in our world, Nathan, and this is something that obviously it's under your nose out in Hollywood, but this is something that we should all be paying attention to in this space, is that Warner Brothers just inked a huge deal, was over $350 million that they are directing straight towards their streaming. Catch us up on this. What's going on out there?
Yeah, and the thing that's awesome being out here in LA, I mean, for those that love, the movie side of movies, you could say the art side of it, what's awesome is that you get just as much drama and, the conversation out here with the business side. So, people might remember Justice League. It came out in 2017. It was, I think it is, for inflation, the 8th most expensive movie ever made. They put, over $300 million into this thing. They didn't get anywhere close to that back on their return. The reviews tank. And the thing is, a bunch of fans of it, they said that the reason of that was because the director, you might have heard about this Zack Snyder cut thing, the director had to leave the project right in the middle of it. So everyone kind of felt like there's no one to blame. What do we do with this thing? So it took 3 years, but fans finally got a campaign. Warner Brothers injected another $100 million in this thing. We're talking $400 million they've put in this, and they're going to be putting it out on HBO Max, I think like March 18th. So over here, everyone's kind of like holding their breath, like, is this thing going to work? Like, the talk isn't even like, is this thing going to be good? It's going to be 4 hours long. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know if it's going to be good, but everyone's going to be like, is this going to pay off? Like, is this going to launch them, or is this going to be kind of like turning everyone's face red?
So we met with a television executive who I will leave unnamed here on the show, who said to me that we are, like, from a television standpoint, they're trying to get where we are, like the 5-Minute Critic and the Jordy Culotta show, where we can just, you're in your office and I'm in an undisclosed location, where we could just go live and we're speaking to an audience, right? And they're trying to turn a 300-foot tanker is how they kind of labeled it, and how they kind of painted the picture. Is that how Hollywood kind of feels in being out there, that they're really trying to get to the space where not necessarily you are, where you could just go click live from your office, but a much more organic way to touch your audience, and a much more easier and less intrusive of production work? Is that because there is production work, but it just doesn't seem as spelled out as it has been over the past. Did that make any sense?
I think there's a lot of that method that you just talked about. I feel like everyone understands that is the future, and individual creatives, more like independent creatives, are able to turn that ship quickly because their infrastructure, it's much quicker, that you can throw everything up like the way that the Jordy Culotta show did. You guys threw something up, went to your audience pretty much immediately. If you've got like a few thousand people on staff and you've got a calendar filled with a few $100 million movies, that ship is a lot bigger. It's a lot tougher to turn. So you can feel everyone kind of resisting, like, how do we do this? We have to do this, but how do we do it in a way that doesn't make us feel like we're tripping over ourselves? But that is 100% the way that it's going, and I think it'll just be interesting to see what is that going to look like.
Is the personnel demand more like in your demographic? Is it much more to the audience that understands that space?
It is, and I think that it's becoming much more independent, and the bigger studios are starting to even reach out and almost contract out more of the types of content that they're buying up for their spaces, and I think that's going to be a huge element of it. And we're seeing that with the streaming services, what they're doing. They're reaching out and buying up more products that people are producing independently. I mean, it's pretty much the United States is kind of becoming just a massive film festival wherever someone makes something and then you hear Amazon plucked it up, or Netflix picked up this documentary series that someone made out in like Ohio.
Nathan, I think that YouTube is going to be like a big player, or just one of these streaming services on the next NFL contract.
Really? So what are people saying with that? Because I feel like that is still I was talking with someone yesterday about that. It feels like the sports streaming space feels like one of these massive ships that's figuring out how to turn with the new way we ingest content.
But if you just look over the last couple of seasons, like, YouTube has been the title sponsor of the NBA Finals, of the Major League Baseball Championship Series, of the Super Bowl halftime show. And now with contracts expiring, Fox, ESPN, NBC contracts in the NFL that are set to expire here, I mean, these cable outlets and cable companies are truly worried about YouTube coming to the table with hundreds of millions of dollars streaming services, not just YouTube. I mean, who's to say Amazon doesn't come plop down at the table and say, we want the rights and we want to pay X amount, that, really and truly, like, the major cable outlets these days, they never thought that they would get outbid by anybody. Now, I mean, YouTube,
up in the air.
Street, Amazon, nobody can keep up with those pockets.
Well, Amazon does the Thursday Night Football, so they've dabbled in the waters.
Yeah, I mean, you're just starting to see how that it's trending in the streaming direction. I mean, everything is moving towards this space.
No, and I think that the pandemic, there's a lot of talk of, what's going to be different. We talked about that throughout the entirety of last year. I think the biggest change is that we jumped 10 years in the future in terms of digital. Everyone is now talking about the capabilities of digital in the way that we've had these tools. It was just this last year we've been forced to do it, and everyone realizes, dang, digital is actually pretty convenient.
Hilton Gidry asked Nate, "Is Justice League if Justice League does well on HBO Max, do you think they'll make a sequel?"
Oh, money talks. Absolutely, they're going to make a sequel if it happens. No, the talk is that if it doesn't go well, Zack Snyder's out of all of this DC superhero stuff, and well, they're going to sign him a check if it does go well, and he'll be back.
I love the weekly movie review. I catch it during the day at 5 Minute Critic. But tell us what's happening over there and what you got coming out.
Absolutely. No, this last week we talked about Soul, which is really, it's a great movie, but it's kind of split in two. Pixar is great whenever they have, great theme, great content, great concept. And the concept on that one doesn't hold up. Like everything with the Soul's not quite as good as everything on the real world. The other one that came out yesterday was our review of Cherry. Everyone, stay away from that movie. You've got to stay far away from that movie. It's 2.5 hours you are not going to get back. But I will tell everyone, look, you've got to subscribe at 5 Minute Critic on YouTube because, we're going to be talking about a character next week, and the dude abides. Let's say that.
You got us. We're in. Yeah. Tweet out the link to the 5 Minute Critic. We'll get it to our audience. Make sure if they're not subscribed, we will make sure and urge them to subscribe. But if they don't, you will be hearing from Nathan every week as he's going to be a Friday staple with us, breaking down Hollywood, breaking down the movie business. And as you see, the movie business is swimming in the direction of kind of where we are and where we're trying to get to. And everybody is coming to this space. So Nathan is right there in Hollywood, keeping us up with the latest. And as he said, make sure before you do anything today, before you get moving this morning, while you're up on YouTube, just get over to 5 Minute Critic, give it a subscription, hit the bell, make sure you get notified when he goes live. He's putting together great content out there, and he'll be home in a couple of weeks, and we will have him in the Undisclosed Location. Thank you, buddy. Proud of you. Talk to you soon.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Yes, man. There he is, Nathan Velasquez, checking in this morning from Hollywood. As
Market 8, dude.
Yes, and I love that segment. I should have asked him about this. We were talking a little about this pre-production. Bruce Springsteen and Obama are coming out with a podcast.
Has it started yet?
Yeah, it's called the. I don't know if it started. I don't see a date. I can't get you that. It's the. This is the second original podcast from Obama. But I thought, and look, this may not be everybody's duet. This might not be everybody's.
Sure, but entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll absolutely draw on interest. If you had your choice to put together a collection of talent for a podcast, who's it going to be? Is that too on the spot? Do you need time to think about this?
I made a little list already.
Yeah, there's a good little list.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I did a little pre-production. The first one that came to mind was MJ and Isaiah Thomas. There's so much beef between those two that they haven't hashed out personally that I would love to see them sit down and talk about.
Those are the dynamics that are the most interesting to me, is to get two people together that either are definitely hostile or definitely just like awkward.
For sure.
Belichick Brady.
Oh, yeah, that would be great now.
Yeah.
Kanye West and Trump.
Kanye West and Trump.
God.
Kanye West and Kim.
Oh, yeah, now, yeah. Jeez. Awkward.
Put him in the dinosaur costume again.
Is it all sports for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that plugged into the rest of the world. I don't know what's going on.
For sure. Les Miles and T-Bob.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
You know, what happened in that locker room.
Sure.
People want to know.
Biggie and Tupac is a good one. Buell Frazier and Richard Lipsy.
Yeah, the shout out one podcast.
Yes, one team, one podcast.
They were riding around with Buell Frazier and said that he and Richard Lipsy had a little conversation. So I was interested to see what they had going on.
Oh, nice.
And obviously, Tyrann Mathieu and Patrick Peterson, from their relationship to LSU, and Patrick kind of helped the Honey Badger get on the right path. So I think they'd have a good rapport together. Daily,
we're brought to you by Johnson and Spillers. Remember, Johnson and Spillers Dentistry. If you need pediatric dentistry, if you need anything help with teeth whitening, if you need molds, you need fillers, get over to Johnson and Spillers Dentistry. They're located in Gonzales, one location there. Then they also have a location in Baton Rouge on Perkins Road, in between Bluebonnet and Segan. But they're the best, man. They're the official dentists of the Jordy Culotta Show. Mention that you heard it here. They've got teeth whitening. They've got Botox specials online, johnsonandspillers.com. You can also hit them on Facebook, social media, and they're the best. Gonzales and Baton Rouge is where you can find them.
point. Patrick said less in his DM read by the Rock.
J-Tab 45, Les Miles and Jordy.
Yeah.
Swap some secrets.
Yeah,
Les
right.
Miles and Bobby Petrino. Let's go through their DMs together.
Right. I mean, I got a little pushback yesterday from that segment that we did about Miles because, it's tough to talk about somebody's personal life, but it was in the news.
I mean, you were waiting for something to happen.
Give it that. But I just look, man. I stand by what I said yesterday. I really do. I know that it might be a little. It could be on the borderline of unprofessional in the sense of there's speculation and there's nothing concrete to report. But I'm just going by the speculation and what was around during that time. We will talk to, I'm looking forward to a conversation that's coming up today as well. Jeff Martin, who is took the job over at Southern California with their football program, has been a part of the LSU football program for over the last 20 years. And he has seen it all. He's been to every national championship game, whether it was the 03, the 07, the 2011 national championship game, to the magical run in 2019. He is now moving on and heading out to Southern Cal. And it's actually his first day on the job today. He's going to stop by here at 9 a.m. this morning, and we will talk to Jeff about that decision and just about the last 20 years and what it's meant to him here on this February 26th, where Fats Domino would have been 93 years old today. Oh. Rest in peace, Fats Domino, as Fats was obviously the author and architect of so many great jams that came out of South Louisiana. But I think our generation will probably remember Fats for Hurricane Katrina, spending it with Jamarcus Russell.
That's right.
Who Jamarcus Russell was dating his niece at the time and had to be evacuated out of New Orleans and ended up spending the Hurricane Katrina at WCA at West Campus Apartments.
He really leaned on Jamarcus there, didn't he?
With old J-Rock. All right, we will talk to Jeff, our guy, Jeff Martin, at the end of the show today. We'll be back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Every time we talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Some exciting new things coming up at Phil's here during the Lenten season, including featuring new seafood specials every Friday, in addition to the seafood-filled menu over there. And they're offering up brunch right now on Saturday and Sundays, which will have bottomless mimosas. Don't forget Monday night 50-cent oysters and $2 draft beers, all over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Check them out. They're online at philsoysterbar.com, but they're located in the South Downs Shopping Center, a staple here in Baton Rouge for a long time. Go tell Anthony Piazza and the crew hello. Phil's Oyster Bar. Hey, if you're in the market for a custom home, get in touch with our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. They're online at RMB-Builders, and Rhett can do just about anything you need around the house. He can build you a new one. He can repair the one you're in. He can remodel. If you need commercial construction help, he's licensed for commercial as well. He can handle an office renovation, building maintenance. Check out everything. It's online at rmb-builders.com. He's on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can find him at the handle at RMB Builders LLC. But the website is fantastic. Check him out, rmb-builders.com. Hey, you know it's no secret what we got going over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We're trying to disrupt how media and advertising moves forward. My friend of over 35 years, Barrett Blondo, is doing the same thing for real estate with his new company, Falaya. I met with him in his own personal undisclosed location, and I got to see firsthand what Falaya has been doing and what he's been working on. It blew my mind, man. They are putting all the tools once reserved for professionals right in the hands of the homeowner. It's basically for sale by owner on steroids. For more information, give my guy Barrett Blondo a call today at 225-939-6153 or visit him at Falaya. That's FALAYA.com for more info. Barrett Blondo over at Falaya.com. Changing the game in real estate. Go Go Chevrolet is under new management, but it's the same old familiar names that you know here from the area. Lee Carney and Nick Richard are up and running in LaPlace, Louisiana, and they want you to stop in today. But if you can't, they'll make it easy for you. They'll come to you. Log online to GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet is conveniently located on Airline Highway in LaPlace, Louisiana. Shop all the inventory, whether it's new or pre-owned, at GoChevrolet.com. That's GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Dr. James Johnson and Dr. Chad Spillers of Johnson and Spillers Dentistry, with 2 locations, one in Gonzales and one in Baton Rouge between Segan Lane and Bluebonnet, offer everything from ceramic crowns to pediatric dentistry, dental cleanings, Botox, extractions. They're online at johnsonspillers.com. Located in Gonzales and in Baton Rouge, seeing both new patients and existing patients. Log online to johnsonspillers.com.
If you missed the show, you can always check out our podcast, brought to you by RMB Builders, on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you can listen to podcasts.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show on this Friday, presented every day by Go Chevrolet. Remember, hit them up online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Shooting for $250 here.
Free money, man. Free money.
From Harper's Haberdashery. Sammy Willard and his crew over at Harper's. Stop in and see them right next to French Market Bistro in the Highland Road Shopping Center. If we make it, first off, you got to follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, make sure. So guys, this is free money. Get in there, get on Instagram at Harper's BR, follow him, put your Instagram username in the chat on this video, and you could win $250 free. Come on, get in there, guys. It's free. Let's do it.
A lot of cool suggestions talking about the podcasts. Ryan Robichaux says all the LSU number 7s.
That's a great one.
That would be a really good one. Leonard Fournette and Darius Geis. Dale Brown and Jordy. We have reached out to Dale Brown. We're trying to get him in the undisclosed location. Keep getting him inside of the bunker. We appreciate everybody for being out there this morning. Remember, like, share, comment, tell a friend. We are just a couple away from 3,000 on Twitter.
I love Brent Semino's random comment. He just slid in there about the loaded breakfast sandwich from Jack in the Box as a gift from
And then
God.
he found out.
He said out. He said out.
And then later said, ouch.
Yeah, he's going to run the
Yeah, that's right, Brent.
That's a day ruiner right
That didn't
there.
last long, buddy.
We hooping?
Yeah, let's take a couple of shots. We putting up shots?
Oh, yeah. What kind of shots? Oh, basketball.
Easy. So again, one last reminder.
It's Friday.
Get in.
Who's shagging balls here?
If I gotta get up.
No, you're not.
Am I
You
stuck in
don't
the
look like
chair?
you don't look like a ball shagger.
No, I'm a shooter.
So again, guys, in the chat on here, drop your Instagram.
Only one
handle.
of us.
Hey, I'm volunteering. I got out early.
You want a lady in
All right. So, Katie, you on the balls or what? All right, who's up?
You want me to shoot first?
Yep, let's go, Lloydie. How's our camera angle, Mikey? All right.
Look, every ball we make, that's another $250 gift card, right? Is that
Sure,
correct?
why not?
Yeah, all right.
Sure.
So
We run up the tab to 750.
get them handles in, yo.
We ready?
All right, Lloyd.
Oh, boy.
Not bad.
So close.
Not
It's
bad.
a tough
not
angle
bad.
over here, but I'm gonna keep practicing.
I'm going
I'll
hook
stay
shot.
late today.
All right, go ahead, Nikki.
Stand up.
Oh,
get that
wow.
dribble in. Step into it. Oh,
Wow. Not good with the balls. Not good with the balls.
Not
Got to work on the
Wilson.
ball handling. Katie, you want a shot? Nah, watch the roof, bro. Mikey, you want a shot? All right. All right, nobody's going to make one.
Hoopa. Oh.
Sheesh.
What was it?
Coffee for 2.
Jordy, you got to stand up and knock
Ish.
it. Go short corner.
Yeah, all right.
We gotta get some buckets in here.
Mike, you screwed some shit up.
Yes.
I'm trying to hold the camera.
Oh.
Phoebe.
Extra shot.
So close.
We got it. Maybe you need a new goal, a new ball.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
blame it on
Goal
everything.
the ball.
Shooter. Here we go.
Okay, I was a little off.
250.
Yeah, bam. There we go.
Three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good. Wins the game at the buzzer.
I just jumped out of my skin. I didn't know that was coming.
Mike Breen.
I had no idea.
Friend of the show.
Bang!
No idea that was coming.
All right, let's see if we can't get our guy here and close out today's show. It's been a great week. Appreciate everybody for being out there and interacting with us. As let's see, we got Jeff Martin here. All right, turn me up over there, Lloydie, if you don't mind, please.
Yup.
The phone. Okay. All right.
Hey, Jordy, what's up, baby?
My man, Jeffrey, how are you? We are live, so just watch yourself a little bit there, but it's good to talk to you, man. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning, brother. I'm doing well, man. I'm glad you told me the we live part. You know, me and you get down. I would have,
My man.
Yes, sir.
Bro, congratulations to you, man. I don't even know where to start. We've talked a little bit about it through the last 2 hours, and I said at the end of today's show we're going to be joined by a very special guest who probably knows LSU football. I wouldn't even know who to compare the Golden Age who's had a better front row seat, whether it be the inner workings, a ball boy, to the personnel department than Jeffrey Martin. What has the last 20 years been like?
Well, I think you're right, actually, in terms of having a front row seat, man. I can remember going to LSU, and it's actually been 19. I was there in 2002, but my brother went there in 01, so I threw that one in for the 20 years. But I just remember going to LSU, and in terms of the football program, and you just didn't expect to win a championship when I first got there. I remember that feeling, right? It's like, 45 years since we won it. It was just all hope. It was all hope. It was different. You'd be, 4-1, and you're still 5-1, and the season wasn't over, right? You're still, man, we're still hoping. And then 03 hits, and that changes, right? And I saw the transition into the golden era of LSU football, where championships were won, expectations were changed, and I've just been privileged to be a part of it, man. And like I said, man, the first job that I ever had was an equipment manager with Greg Stringfellow.
We got the picture up right now. We got the picture up right now.
No doubt, man. And I always tell Greg, and actually Jeff Boss hired me. I was the last guy that Jeff Boss hired.
Wow.
But I always tell Greg, that he taught me really in that place, that equipment room taught me how to have a job, how to be professional, how to show up on time. If you know anything about that program, man, if you're 1 second late, and I literally mean 1 second late, you coming in for morning work 5 in the morning, man. You got to do things right, the attention to detail, doing those helmets. You literally got it. The stripes have to be perfect, right? They're pulling out tape measures. Everything has to be perfect. So I didn't get it at first. And, growing up within that program, I started paying attention to detail. I knew how important time management was, how important it was to come on time, man. So, that's like I said, man, I just appreciate everything that place has done for me. It's been a whirlwind for sure.
You got your master's while you were in Baton Rouge along the way, and it feels like you've worked inside of every department of LSU football. What are your aspirations within the game?
So I definitely want to head a department, right? So Austin Thomas is a guy who, I've learned under for a while. He had a couple stints in Baton Rouge, and that's definitely a role that, I wanted to, I want to be a big part of. So kind of leading a front office personnel-wise, more so player development-wise as well. I have like a program that I want to input into USC, which is one of the reasons why, in the midst of our conversation, they kind of like my vision and, wanted me to kind of get some of those things going over there, man. So, like I said, talking with Austin Thomas, he kind of gave me pointers in terms of, what to do, what not to do, and kind of how to run things. So, that's a guy who I look up to, and that's definitely a position I aspire to attain for sure.
Jeffrey Martin joining us here, Director of Scouting and Player Relations over at Southern California, is on the phone with us right now. How has that job, how has that responsibility evolved? How has that changed, that position just in the game?
To me, it's huge, right? And I think you either got to get with it or get lost because coaches can only do so much, right? You're putting a lot on the coach's plate, and they need help, right? You want the coach to evaluate the talent. You want the coach to coach the talent. You want the coach to corral his players, right? You want the coach to make sure, the players are doing the right thing. You want the coach to keep a relationship with the parents. So that's not happening. You spread yourself really thin. So I think, people in my role, right, and it kind of closes and fills in the gaps. It's almost the glue, how I look at it. And it's important, man, whether that's a personnel guy who does it, whether that's a recruiting guy who does it. I was never really big on titles, until you start trying to get some money. And then you're like, oh, okay, you need a title. Right. But I kind of just did what I needed to do for the program and was always focused on doing what I needed to do for the program. And that's part of it. But a big part moving forward in college football will not just be recruitment. It'll be retainment. You can get those guys on campus, but you got to keep them there, right? With the one-time transfer rules and just all of the options available to the guys, right? Which I think is, in a sense, is good, right? It holds you accountable. Okay. Sure. So now you got to do right by these guys now, which is, what I'm for anyway. So, the player development part, it never was a part of what I was supposed to do. I just felt if I talked to a parent, right, if I'm, they're on campus and I recruited a guy and I tell a parent, look, we have this, we have that, I just felt it was only right that I was a part of helping them throughout that transition and helping them and guide them, throughout their college years. So it's something that I just kind of took up and tried to run with it as much as I could.
At G5 Jeff Martin is where you follow him on Twitter. When you posted it seems like Southern California's found a little bit of a honey hole down here in Baton Rouge with Will Stout and now coming down and seeing you. What is it about Southern Cal that makes it attractive to you guys?
Well, for one, right, the general stuff, right, the tradition of SC. Even when we were in our heyday, it was always an eye out west. And I remember the bumper stickers, right, the purple and gold, a certain letter USC, right? Because the split national championship or whatever. But I've always told those guys that wasn't split, man. We played a national championship game and we won that championship, So, but the tradition, man, of the program and obviously the location. You're in the biggest market for a college football team in the world, a college in the world, period. So those were two things that attracted me there, but. Really what pushed it over the top is speaking to the people here, talking to, Spencer Harris, who's a guy that I'd be working with in personnel and kind of explaining to him what I wanted to do and, told him, hey, man, I want to be a GM. And this is a guy who may have those same aspirations, right? Sure. So he could have looked at it as competition, but, in the midst of our conversation, Spencer got excited about, what I could bring. And, he ran and told Coach Helton, right, hey, I think this guy will be really good. And it all happened so quick, right? So, Coach Helton calls me and, we're talking and we had a conversation for about an hour. And, in the midst of that conversation, Coach Helton gets excited about, what I could potentially bring to the program and the university. So he goes and he tells Brandon Sosna, who I don't have his direct title, but I know he's, he's a part of that administration. I think he's a assistant athletic director or something familiar, associate athletic director. He's a 27-year-old guy. He's like, been on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. So, he's a guy who'll be on the rise pretty quickly. But same deal, had a conversation with him and they were able to, change the job that was actually available and create it to fit what would be best for me. And they jumped over a lot of hoops, man. They actually recruited me, which I've never really been recruited before in my life. So, doing all this recruiting and then actually getting recruited, it just, it does something for you. And, it just kind of validates the work you've been putting in, man. Not to mention, coming from LSU, right? Obviously, we won championships and we've done things, the right way over there for a long time. So all that came together and it wound up getting me in Southern Cal. So like you said, man, first day out here, my first time waking up to the Southern California sunlight.
Palm trees and blue skies, baby. It's beautiful out there, I'm sure.
No doubt. And Jordy, I mean to cut you off. I heard y'all talking about Fast Domino a little earlier, man. It was crazy. So I lived with DeMarcus during that time.
Wow.
in college. And a funny story, I didn't know who that. So it obviously Katrina, I can't find my family, right? So I'm trying to find my family, see what's going on. So I go on, he's Fast is in the apartment, and I don't know who he is at this time, right? So I go to, I'm just like, how you doing? What's going on, brother? I know his name, but by face, I don't know who that is.
Right.
So I go on CNN. I'm still trying to find my family, and I look on the front page of CNN. Is the guy in the living room with the exact same shirt on. And it says, Fast Domino saved. I said, holy Fast Domino, okay. How you doing, brother? So I remember all he was worried about was how my hair looked. Because, they was coming trying to take pictures and stuff. And how my hair look? Are my clothes okay? So he was, he's a sharp dude, man. But when y'all brought that story up and said it was Fast's birthday, it reminded me to that moment, man.
That's a great story, man. That is a great. How cool was that? I mean, not that time. I know it was a scary time, but I mean, any cool stories come from being Fats' roommate for a couple of weeks?
Well, just overall. So I told you I was looking for my family.
Yeah.
We had so they wound up showing up the next day, right? And they showed up about 6 a.m. The next day, they smelled like Katrina, right?
Right.
So, but what's crazy is throughout that whole time, man, it was about 18 of us living in a 2-bedroom apartment that me and JaMarcus were just sharing by ourselves. And, for that dude, JaMarcus, to give up this is the middle of the football season. JaMarcus slept on the floor, right? Because my aunts and my cousins, they had babies. It was literally 18 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment, and it wasn't WCA. It was Highland Plantation. They changed the name now. I think it's the Hub on Highland. But for that dude to give his bed up, and this is a guy that got to go play football games, major games, and he's sleeping on the floor until the day of the game, and just that whole time, the selflessness of the people of Louisiana, and just the people in that community. That's something I'll miss for sure. But that was very interesting, man. Just that whole time period. And how things played out.
I still see him rolling left, standing up in the pocket on 4th down against Arizona State, hitting early to win that game, man. The home game in Tempe.
Yes, sir. The first one of the Les Miles era.
That's right. A fake field goal and a block punt to win that game. Right. Get out of there. I saw your message about your conversation with Coach O. I got to imagine I've seen you guys interact up close and seeing how personal and the relationship you guys share. Tell me about working for him and what that moment was like, telling him that you were moving on.
Well, obviously it was tough, right? And working for him, he's a fiery guy. But he's genuine, man. Like the thing about Coach O is, I've worked under Nick Saban, right? When I was an equipment manager. I've worked with Les Miles and, great guys to work with, obviously. But Coach O is a guy, even as, a lower level, I was a student worker at the time. That's how I got back into it. I just got in school just to be in the personnel department, right? So I was actually paying to work,
Right.
But, nah, man, he makes sure he knows your name. He, speaks to you, man. He keeps it lively. You'll just hear his voice. Throughout the you know when he's in the office.
Sure.
Because he'll be down the hall, you'll hear his voice, man. So, and then this guy, at the end of the day, just gave me my opportunity, like I said, hired me, from a student worker to be a full-time position. And I feel like I took that and ran with it. So I'm forever indebted to him. He actually let me speak to the team on the way out, which I've never seen anybody do that, right? I got a chance to speak to the guys. I want to say that was Monday, my last day in the building. And I think I told him this privately, but, I had to tell the team too, that he knows how much that place those people in that place, and those players mean to me to even allow me to do that, right? So, again, forever indebted to Coach O, just in terms of the conversation we had when I was leaving. And he was alerted, right? Because I told Austin what was going on. Like I said, things happen quickly, but when it got serious, it happened within about a day and a half. So when it got serious and an offer was actually put on the table, I definitely want to inform them what was going on. And Austin kind of gave him a heads up. And going in his office and talking to him, man, it was just, he was hurt, right? But he was excited for me. And the fact I could see it in his eyes and how he was carrying himself, of him knowing the things I could do out there, the things that I'm going to do out there. And that, and also knowing what I've done here. So me feeling that and getting that genuine love from Coach O and that genuine excitement for me to spread my wings and do something a little different, got to me a little bit. I caught the tail, like it was going to come down, right? But how you can stick your finger right in that corner and catch it before it drops.
That's right.
The gangster tear.
Yeah, that's right.
It came out, man. But I plugged it.
That's right. We'll go with it. I know you're in Los Angeles this morning. It's all about the men of Troy now. But you got to be proud of what you guys did from a personnel standpoint and the roster you leave behind at LSU, because it seems like the Tigers are going to be legit next season.
Man, again, another reason why it was tough, and SC made it as easy as they could possibly make it for me to come,
right.
But another reason that it was so tough to leave was because that very fact, right? I know what this team can do next season. It's another thing I told him when I got a chance to talk to him was, despite everything that was on the table for me here, I still was like, I don't know, right? Mm-hmm. Because of everything, right? But I know the type of season that those guys, I know those players, right? Recruited those players, helped recruit those players, dealt with them in a classroom, dealt with them with real life things. I know their character. I know their talent. I know the ability that those guys have and the mentality that they have. I know what they went through last season and how they feel about what they went through last season and the mentality of the guys coming in. So I know exactly what that team has in store for it if they just execute. So that was tough, man. But I'll always be an LSU Tiger, and I'll definitely be rooting for those guys to take it home. That 2019 year, though, man, that was yeah. And Jordy, I saw that coming, bro. You could and people asking, I get a chance to talk to those NFL scouts when they come in, and I was before the season started. I'm like Joe Burrow, and they're like, okay, I feel you, okay, but is that I remember one asking, is that more of a circumstance that you guys haven't had a competent quarterback here for a while, and now that you got a guy that's decent, you're overhyping? I say, listen, man, I'm with the guy or around the guy almost 24. I mean, as long as you're in the building, you're around him, right? Because he was always in that building. But it goes beyond what he does on the field, man. That's the most competitive guy I've ever seen. That's the guy that'll hold a grudge on his shoulder for years. I remember certain conversations I don't want to get into it. I'm gonna let Joe tell his story, but certain conversations that we had about ways that he feels slighted. I can tell you one. He obviously wanted to go to Nebraska, because his dad and everything. But Nebraska barely recruited him. I think Nebraska came to see him one time, and Joe remembers the throw. Joe said it was throw 17 that them people walked out on him, right? Like they turned away and left. And he said he'll never forget it, and that's him. That's him. He'll always have the fuel in his fire. He can have 5 MVPs, 5 Super Bowl championships. There's going to be something that's going to light his fire and continue to push him. But, man, I saw it coming just knowing Joe Burrow, meeting Joe Brady. You could see Joe Brady coming, right, meeting him and some of the things and the concept that he wanted to bring in and how that meshed with what Coach Ansminger was doing. That's the thing. I saw that coming, bro, and for us to do what we did, as great as it was, man, if you were around the spring, knowing Jamar Chase, knowing Justin Jefferson, knowing Joe Joe Burrow, and even the defensive talent that we had on that team, that's when I knew. When early in the season, the defense was the weak link, I was like, oh, man, the sky's the limit. The universe is the limit because that defense is crazy talented. Communication issues and tackling and all that stuff. Once we get that together, it'll be almost unstoppable. And I think towards the end of the season, the defense got it together and we were rolling.
And y'all had to beat Devin White out of the building. Y'all had to tell him to get the hell out of here. We can't take you back. He wanted to come back.
Yeah, Devin. So Devin wanted to come back for that year. He obviously missed the championship year.
Yeah.
But Caleb Vaughn's another guy who said, I'll never forget Caleb Vaughn text me, and he said, Jeff, do you think it'd be crazy to come back? You think I'd be stupid to come back? And, you know, I said, man, either way, you couldn't go wrong. I think if you leave your first rounder, I think if you stay, you could be a top 10, top 8 pick, you know. So those are guys that definitely bled this thing, man, such as myself. And, the character of that team led it to do what it did. And I believe that the character that this current team is developing and continues to develop will allow them to be able to do special things as well.
Heads up, college football world. Here comes Jeff Martin, Director of Scouting and Player Relations over at Southern California. His first day on the job and back here with us on the Jordy Culotta Show this morning. You've always been a dog, man. Go be great. Proud of you, and we're always here, man. Thank you.
I appreciate everything, Jordy, and, good luck to you guys down there. Obviously, I'll be paying attention, man, and appreciate you having me on, bro, no doubt.
Always, man. We'll stay in touch. We'll see you.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. There he is. Jeff Martin checking in from Southern Cal this morning. A very talented and bright and shining star within college football. A tough loss for LSU. I think everything you need to know about how LSU felt about Jeff Martin was Ed Orgeron turning over his team to allow Jeff Martin to address him, to address them on the way out. That is something that a head coach holds very near and dear to his heart. Is going to be messages and communication to his team, and to allow Jeff Martin to speak to his team like that shows you and tells you all the respect that Orgeron and that football program has for Martin. Best of luck to him because he is going to be great. You can put that down. You can bet on that because that's a guarantee. Congratulations to him. It's been a fantastic show. It's been a fantastic week. Over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. We appreciate everybody for interacting with us, for taking interest of what we got going on here. Please make sure and like, share, tell a friend, comment on the post, tell them about what we got going on here as we will be back on Monday morning, 7 a.m.
Pick a winner for Harper's?
Yes, you got some?
Yeah, let's, I'm going to, very rudimentary style, I'm going to close my eyes and scroll the chat, and if it lands on a name, we'll pick that person.
Brought to you daily by Lanois Insurance, LANOIX agency.com. Get in touch with the Lanois if you're looking for auto, home, and business insurance. 749-5640 is the phone number, and you can easily find them online. They're located in Bruley, Louisiana. They're located in Donaldsonville, Louisiana, and they can help you today. Auto, home, business insurance online at LANOIX agency.com.
Grant Dugas.
Grant Dugas.
Let's go.
Oh.
Grant, head over to Harper's Haberdashery. We will send Sam your name. You got a $250 gift card waiting on you over at Harper's. So go over there to Highland Road next to French Market Bistro as Sammy and the crew will take care of you today. For everybody here on the Jordy Culotta Show, for Lloyd, for Mike, for Katie, for Nikki, I'm Jordy Culotta. We'll be back with you at 7 o'clock on Monday morning. Go Chevrolet, driving us through the weekend. If you're looking for a brand new automobile, stop in and see Lee Carney, Nick Richard this weekend as they'll be out there all day on Saturday and online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. We'll see you Monday.
And they have a coach you look like Booger McFarland?